Keep a clean sheet, you're not going to give anything away, and you can just sneak the one-goal victory, and that's what Sweden did.
Always half a battle won when you're keeping clean sheets, and we spoke about them defensively. We spoke about that being a strength of theirs. When you look at the central pairing of Lindelof and Danielson, and also throw in an Olsen there, how big they've been so far for this team from a defensive perspective. And what was nice for me to see in this particular game today was players like Isak and Berg coming to life, also from an attacking perspective. That's what the team needed, and you know, I thought at the end of it, though I thought Slovakia did let them off the hook every now and then, I thought Sweden were full value for it today.
Yeah, and they did manage to get the performance in. I mean, from Slovakia's point of view, fair play to them. They kept trying right until the end. There were a few desperate moments, but they couldn't get the equaliser, and it leaves them with a job to do, oddly enough, against Spain in the last game. But Spain still have to play Poland, so a lot of water still to flow under this group's bridge. We're off to a brief break. When you come back, we'll analyse that second half, because there were quite a few talking points.
So they do that extremely well, drop together, great save certainly from Olsen there. He wasn't to know that was going to be called offside,
right.
But if he's not offside and that goes in, that changes the complexion of the game. So for me, Okocha's got to read the line better.
I mean, it didn't matter in that it would have been offside, but in that situation, Teko, if you're being hypercritical, as I probably am, you want to keep the header down, really, to beat the keeper, because it came at a good height for him. You want to be getting over it and head the ball downwards, right?
Yeah, and you want to be doing that also by trying to score a goal. And I think at that time what's important was, because there were numbers that were also trying to distract him from getting a free header. So all you want to do at that time, you're desperate to hit the target and force the goalkeeper to make a save. But I think also it's important as well to delay that second whenever you're making that run, because that delay might be the crucial decision in terms of whether the goal being allowed or disallowed, especially in the set piece phase.
Straight after that, Sweden started a really strong 10-15 minutes, and Dubrovka actually, on the other goal, JJ, pulled off an excellent reaction save. But that started to show that Sweden were just trying to tighten it a little bit.
Yeah. Together, and then a fantastic cross in there. The striker did everything right there, but the keeper was on top of his game and denied him from scoring.
Let me stay with you, because we've got Alexander Isak's package we're going to have a look at now, and he was influential and shows you if Sweden are going to kick on in this tournament, he's going to be a critical player for them.
Well, yes, I mean, he's a hard worker. Unfortunately, in this situation, he couldn't keep his header down, but you can't fault him for effort, you know, especially when he's most of the time on his own up front, you know. But here again, he showed his skills, he showed his ability to go past players and his desire, you know, to change the game for the team. And I think his performance today contributed a lot to this Swedish team.
He did so well there. Did he get a bit greedy in the end? Because are you going to beat the keeper on the near post? Would you like to have seen him square that, Teko?
After such hard work, I would want to finish it off. Here's where I thought Isaac should be sharing the ball, because, you know, the angle was too tight in the beginning. I thought you passed it very early. But he's a young man. He's doing so much, and he covers so much ground as well. And I think also you'd want him to see him more, JJ, on those areas where it's 1v1 situation after beating that opponent as a goalkeeper to beat. I like having to dribble so many people around the center line, and also that tells you as to the structure that the team has, that they don't allow him to actually be able to be so much dangerous with all the speed and the skill that he has. If he's playing higher up there and getting those balls in a higher position, one-on-one, you can see it's not a problem for him.
Seeing JJ and I saw Robin, your favourite player, Quissel, as you call him, it was just begging for the pass, wasn't he? He said, pass it to me, in that situation. Frustrating for him, but yeah, in the end it didn't cost them, because Sweden got the winner.
Sadly, I think he made a great impact when he came in. You know, we were thinking of who they could bring in and that can make the difference, and he certainly did, and got the penalty for them. As you said earlier on, they started playing better in the late day. It looked a bit harsh, but I mean, you have to follow the rules, and when you make contact without the touching the ball.
So two things there, you're right. Quisson did very well to get the touch.
Yes.
And it was the touch that led to the penalty, Andre, because had in any way Dubravka got to the ball or touched the ball, even if it hit his foot there, he might have got away with it. But yeah, it is a little bit harsh for the keeper because you can't pull out of that challenge. But equally, the Swedish attacker, Quisson, did well to get the touch.
He did. I think it's just his quick reaction to it. I really feel for Dubravka. You can see he's trying to cut short his momentum and not going into him because he knew he was not going to get there before Quisson. But it was still down to this man, Forsberg, to put it away. And boy, did he stick that one away in a corner that no keeper in the world will get to.
I'm so glad you said that. I gave it a score out of 10 of 9.5. That was really good. He gave the keeper no chance. Knew where he wanted to put it, Teko, and buried it.
Yeah, and it's important as well to be decisive when you get to the penalty spot and pick a spot and make sure that there is power behind the ball, because now goalkeepers the abilities to be saving penalties, and you're going against the very quality side of a goalkeeper. So I think also the nerves that he was calm and collected. He knew exactly what he wanted to do, and also what's important, he knew how big that goal is for the team.
Penalties are an interesting situation. They still remain, even in domestic leagues, JJ. Now, earlier on in the tournament, we saw Gareth Bale fluff one. And I can't help but thinking, I mean, Gareth Bale's one of the great players of the world, and yet sometimes they step up for penalties and try to do something a little bit different. I mean, surely in that situation we've seen there, they've just blasted it. Pick your spot, hit it properly, and there's every chance you're going to score. But a lot of players try something clever, don't they?
Well, I mean, it's whatever you're comfortable with. I was a penalty taker during my time, you know, but I was always playing a waiting game to see if the keeper will move first. But if that's not the case, I'll pick a spot and make sure that I hit it hard there. Sometimes you can mix, you know, but if you have a good record in penalty taking, then you stick to what works for you. And I think that was a fantastic penalty there.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant penalty. Look at the focus. It's so important, Andre, because if that is saved or isn't converted, Sweden only 2 points from 2 games, and equally Slovakia have got themselves 4 points. So in both senses, for the attacking team and the defending team, that was a massive moment in the game.
It's amazing how one moment can change a game. And by the way, that 0.5, Neil, that you were holding back there, that was for Dubravka going the right way. I thought he did really well to guess the right way and try and get across there. But small margins in this game, and Sweden were the ones who grabbed it.
Now let's just see how it changed in the second half. Slovakia kept most of the possession, but you could see the dynamic was with Sweden. They had 1 attempt on target in the first half. They trebled that in the second half, a total of 4, and they had 13 total attempts. So I think that Teko is 100% right. At half-time, they said, listen, 0-0's not going to help us here. We've got to risk it. We've got to step up. We've got to take the game to Slovakia. And in that respect, they did.
Yeah, and that's how you're supposed to play the game. And I think with the approach that they had in the first half, you know, they expected probably Slovakia to come out blazing, and you can see the way they structured themselves just to be a little bit more cautious and see where the game takes them. And second half, they came in a better team, and they knew that this 3 points today means a lot to them than Slovakia. And you can see with the Slovakians the way they disappointed in their face. I don't think they know that they didn't play their best games. You see your Hamshik, the way he's so disappointed, the way he was also disappointed at the halftime. You can tell that there's so much that was restricted from them. And sometimes you look at the team, you're trying to figure out, JJ, what's happening? Why aren't they playing to the best of our abilities? And at times, like we spoke about it, at times the managers are the ones that gives out the team and the strategy that also impact the team negatively in how they play, especially with the type of players that you have.
I think we spoke about it, you know, this Swedish team not having the likes of Ibrahimovic in their team, and I said that it's important to know the strength of your team and the squad that you've got and find a way that will suit them to play. And I think maybe sometimes we expect too much from a team that haven't got that what we are looking for, you know. So I think they managed their game well. They played the way they know how to play, made it difficult for the Slovakians to score and kept a clean sheet. So I think it is important that they stick to what works for them and play according to their strength and maybe progress as far as they can go in this tournament.
Okay, so time for us to put a lid on that game, which in the second half, I must say, was a relief.